Well, anyway, I was happy you reached out because my next focus is villages, regenerative
Mhm.
villages. It's kind of what I started with 10 years ago, but kind of got a little bit, I don't think it's actually sidetracked, but just focus on building all the tools that will help villages kind of get going. But that was just really a life for me. I've got a child coming and I want to be in a village. I want them to be raised in a village. And I'm like, nope, it's time to get going right now. Let's run. So we
Totally.
put together kind of a model for how to start crowd pooling for villages right now. So we can start raising all the investment we need. We've
That's interesting.
demonstrated the model with a DAO being able to buy land.
Hmm.
So a DAO being a decentralized organization, you get that being able to buy land, sell land, and govern it. So the Wyoming DAO LLC model is what we used. So we got a legal entity
Awesome.
that owns the land governed by the DAO. So what we could do is we could actually have a crowd pooling where people can pool all Web3 assets, but we actually want to do it so people can pool all the forms of capital we need. So people can be
Uh-huh.
like, hey, I'm going to bring knowledge. Hey, I'm bringing land. Hey, I'm bringing assets and resources, whatever. People can pool all of the capital they need. Tokens are reflected back out to everyone, and that starts the village. So this is the founders of the
Awesome.
village. We can use that capital pool to buy land and kind of kickstart villages and get them going. Why this is awesome right now is because the crypto market is 2 trillion large right now, going
Hmm.
into kind of a bear market. A lot of assets are looking for safe places to go. Land-backed projects, I think, is huge.
Totally. It's so interesting. You're coming at it from that angle, Reiki, and I've been sort of in a bit of hermit mode for like the last year and a half. Building out the Frequency Village project, and we're in a really good space. We actually raised 1.2 million this week already, and we just started fundraising the first investor, 1.2, and it's still happening. There's another conversation happening in the background, a big one for the whole project. It's a 25 million dollar project here, and so that's going very well. But it's like I've been living in a village now, like a real village, for just over a year, and Universe presents the learnings that we need, and even just seeing people's house get broken into, there's a little bit of crime because there's no abundance here and things like this, and I feel very spiritually protected, and even my car got broken into, and I was like, why did that happen, and it was really to show me like what is, people are that desperate that they need to do these, and like at 7 at night in front of my house where I live, and so it just got me thinking even more. It's very beautiful when you get to the point in your life where you realize that every single thing that happens to you is showing you something, and can you see that? And so, what I realized is that, I think we may have mentioned this a long time ago when we were talking about, money it should be like water at some point. It should be like a portion of money should just be given to everyone so that they can live at the very basically, it should be like the bottom line. And sort of hey, sorry, I've got two little cats here playing with me. And what came to me, right, is that, we're just about to buy a farm block down the road. So we've got these, I don't even know if you know where I am at the moment. Let me just walk you out the front. The sun's just gone down. It would have been amazing to see it like even 30 minutes ago, but you'll be able to tell. It's like, this is the view, dude.
Oh,
And the land
gorgeous.
is here. So sorry, it's raining. I don't want to get my computer wet, but it's like 17. What is it? 14,260 square meters, and we can do 3 floors, right in front of the ocean, and it's like more than 180 degrees. So it's like across, but then it goes around into a beach. So we've got a beach on the left, which is pretty freaking amazing. So we got these 2 blocks. There's one at the front, one at the back. There's a whole story to this land because like it is the most pristine land in all of the Azores. It's like the sunset location where everyone comes in the afternoon to watch the sun go down on the main island. And an old lady had the land for 30 years, and it was for sale for 10, but everyone was saying, well, yeah, it's for sale, but it's not really for sale, And so we put an application. We put an application in January last year. And 5 months later, we still hadn't heard anything back. We were trying to ask the real estate to introduce us to the lady so we could meet her and share the project. And he wouldn't do it. He's like, they're really protective. They think you're going to do something behind their backs. And I just got to a point. I said, dude, if you don't introduce me, I'm just going to go find her myself, And so Laura and I said, let's just do a prayer. So we did a prayer in the morning after 5 months. 4 hours later, in a new Airbnb, and I looked over the balcony. There's 4 people at my door. And I was like, hello? They're like, are you Shane? I was like, yes. And I saw my cleaner was one of the people. So I went down and they said, oh, a lady introduced herself as Maria Dussel, and I was like, okay, hey Maria. She's very friendly. She goes, I'm here representing the owner. She wants to meet you. I was like, okay. This is like 4 hours after we prayed, you know. And I found out her name translates to Maria from Heaven. That's what Maria Dussel means. So Maria from Heaven came with this message. We went and met the lady, and she's 80 something, very wealthy family. She just kept it. She said she didn't need the money. And we did the presentation. She started like getting emotional. She says, I've been waiting for you. My heart tells me I have to give you this land. And so we ended up that's how we acquired that land. Wow. It's already buildable. Both of them are. And so we don't have to get any of the approvals. It's basically already approved for building. It's zoned and everything. And all the locals are like, how did you get that land? You know, they can't believe it. You know, they're like, nobody could buy that, even when they were offering her more money than what she was asking. So that's kind of how we acquired that land. And just recently I found a really beautiful block, 500 meters down the road, taps into a mountain with the main spring water source. It's 62,000 square meters. So we're going to do a syntropic farm, school for herbalism, like a medicinal mushroom farm, and grow all the veggies for the village. So getting to the point I was trying to make is that just like water, I want to make food pretty much a given, you know. So we produce the food and then just give it to the village, you know, and we say, hey, how much space do we need to grow food to supply a whole village, you know, through the whole year, you know, through all seasons. And so that's kind of the task that I'm presenting for, well, his name is Mark. He's a syntropic farmer. He trained under Goethe in Brazil for 3 years. And so he lives in Portugal, and he's got a farm there. So he's going to be in charge of doing this like a joint venture project here. And the challenge I'm setting him is that we have to feed the whole area, you know, and just figure out what we need to do that. So, and then, you know, obviously just going through the processes, I'm thinking, okay, then tokenization and seeds and this and that. And so I think it was like a natural, you know, a joining of what I see is happening. And, you know, Reiki, like, since I met you, I'm a big supporter of what you're doing. I have the ability to see really what you're doing, not just that it's something I know that you're doing the hard way, but the right way, you know, and I know that presents a lot more challenges than a lot of other people. I took the easy route, you know, I set this company up very simply, few people, shareholders, like, but no, sorry, that's not right. No shareholders yet. It's going to be quite, I'm in quite a good seat with what we're setting up. But I was originally just going to have the 3 company models and then just raise some funds on a convertible note, giving us time and space. You know, the thing I didn't want to get stuck with was investors that we didn't want, you know, to be stuck with and this and that. So everything that's kind of been done, you know, I'm kind of the guy that, like, this is a consciousness-focused space. And there are things that, unless you live in the upper realms of consciousness, there's decisions that I will bring into the space that people probably won't understand. And so unlike maybe other movements that are really community focused and they really want that community voice, I believe that there's certain things that I'm bringing into this space that right now I'm the only one that's holding the frequency, because even I had a business partner who was very, you know him, very good business person, and my stomach was churning. Like, spirit was like, no, you can't work with that, because like this corporate energies kept coming in, you know, like carbon credits and all this stuff. And my body was screaming, dude. And I'm like, I had to like basically ask them to leave the project, you know, somebody who's a very accomplished business person, very knowledgeable in tokenomics and crypto. But it was like, this is old energy, you know, it's like, because I can see past the blinkers, you know, and other people are still in between the worlds, you know. And Frequency Village stands for consciousness. It's about truth, you know. We're not like this completely against the grain, but we are about truth, and it's not like a half truth, it's about full truth, you know. And so yeah, I guess where other people will just put up with it and then they'll get to a point where they really get stuck with people that are not aligned, I'm just like, I'd rather just have a bit of carnage now, or a bit of dissonance now, to have the harmony come from that. So I made some hard decisions, went through a little bit of bumps, and now it's just like channel on, you know, and everything's flowing. So I'm sure that you've been through similar things, and I know, I see the details, and I really loved even when you were talking about, you had the containers of the beings in the circles, right? And you're saying that this is not the same, you know, constellation that it was before, and that what we have to get used to is being comfortable with the movement. and not getting stuck on, oh, he left, he got kicked out, that person didn't like this person, da da da. It's like the physics, right? We just have to understand that this is going to be the way the community is, you know, and we have to toughen up a little bit, and everything is love, you know, and this is the physics of life, you know, we're here to feel things and move like that. So, so yeah, just wanted to acknowledge you because, you know, people say things, but I can also see, you know, really what is behind that. And I know that you are holding a lot. And I know that you're the right person to hold it. You know, I really see you as a resilient being. And I think, you know, anyone who's building anything decent at the moment, they've had to be, you know, they've had to be trained for these times. So yeah.
Thank you for that. I mean, synchronicity, man. This is literally how my last conversation just started with, you know, when you're doing things kind of quote right. I mean, what is right and wrong anyway, but we're just deciding that right is kind of against the status quo, which just makes it way hard because you're working against something, which, but that's also why we're here. You know, we're here to, you know, grow, improve, evolve. And that's quote, doing it the harder way. Anyway, thank you for sharing that. I mean, Frequency Village, obviously it's all about frequency, right? I'd love to kind of, two things. We'll probably do a separate recording where I'd love to have you just present Frequency Village. I'm kind of jumping in, assuming we're already collaborating together.
Of course, I'm always collaborating with you, Rocky.
We're grabbing the first. We're trying to narrow down all of the awesome projects that are coming forward right now and get 12. So I have 12 kind of showcase projects that are a little bit different all across the globe. So for example, we have a high rise in San Francisco, owned by the Buckminster Fuller, one of the directors there, George Robillo.
Yeah, cool.
He wants to take his high rise.
George, I love George.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's great.
So he wants to bring like his high rise, for example, and run that as a village. So I only use that because everyone thinks eco villages, it's always land based. You got to take, you know, new land and convert. The other one is there's a completely abandoned and degraded farmland project in Canada, and it's showing how to take decimated land, and they've been already doing it for the last 7 or 8 years, I think now, and they've been turning it into a market garden village. So anyway, and then yours and Ibiza, we have some land. Anyway, doesn't matter. Point is, we're having 12 different projects and then using that to do our crowdfunding. So we're going to do a lot of kind of noise and say, look, we are building the Renaissance, we're building new villages. Here's 12 different options. If none of them work for you, like, fine, we're going to do cohorts of this every single year. And then the idea is each year we just launch a new cohort.
I've got a good one for you. You know, again, the synchronicities, right? It's just too funny, you know, like I need to show you the message just because it's that hilarious, you know. So do you know Anna Naturalista?
Yeah. A little.
Okay, so Anna wrote, can you read this? This is just, when is it, Tuesday? Do you know any crowdfunding specialists for communities? My power couple, they're the founders of Envision Festival, right? So that's a good one for you, right? So it's like about as good as it can get. Okay, so I've got that, and I just literally just messaged her like just before our call, you know, and then you said exactly the same thing, and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. How good is this? You know, so I'm gonna I mean, if you're already connected with her, I don't know if you've got her number, but I can even just connect you. I'll just do a voice note, just to name the synchronicities because it's too funny.
This is for you to check out as well, but send that to her.
Cool.
And this is the model proposal for initial village crowdfunding is what we're kind of calling it. Amazing.
So Rocky, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you, like, let's just not maybe do this recording. I just want to show you what we're up to here. I'll show you the presentation because our model's a little bit different. And to be honest with you, I think we've got an amazing investor, bro. Like, like a dream come true. And it was the first presentation.
Wait, is this the view that I saw just from the land?
The view that you just saw is this one here.
Okay.
But that's just down the road. So it's the same island, and that's just down the road. But so I'm just going to really quickly run you through this, just so you can sort of see what's going on. So Frequency Village, we call it Home for Positive Change. We just want to be super approachable, you know, where everyone feels like they can participate. It's like, you know, our focus is really on consciousness, and the program will reflect that. But we also really want to be open to people who are just passing by and sort of attracting those people. I think you and I both know that, words matter, and we're really tuning into what we are and what we're creating. What became obvious is that we are consciousness focused. That's really like the part I want to bring to everything. And we're a regenerative ecosystem, because we're building spaces. It's not just online, it's online and offline spaces that connect people and accelerate projects. I don't think I need to word you up on the problem. I think it's pretty obvious. The third one there is a lack of spaces for regenerative people to gather. And so our blueprint is change makers and projects, holistic spaces and programs. So actually we're building 12 spaces around the world, probably 144, but I don't want to scare the common people. But, I'm sort of also looking multi-generational, not just sort of, for my lifetime. I'm sort of feeling like Frequency Village. I want to, create a vision that goes beyond my lifetime, So I'm working closely with Rico Paganini, Egyptologist. Rico, do you know Rico?
I don't.
Okay, well,
I'm loving this map, by the way. But
you need to know Rico anyway. So this is his map of the ley lines. Of course, you can see where we are, right in the middle of the ocean there. All the spaces we're building is really using this holistic wellness wheel. There's also cultural wellness on there, and also we'll be changing occupational to vocational wellness. And so everything we sort of do is in consideration of that. This is the land we've acquired. There's 2 blocks, one at the front, one at the back, which make up 14,260 square meters. Incredible view. It's a sunset location on the island, and it's one of the best spots. So this is kind of the space that we're looking to build. 72 rooms with biomimetic construction, doing collaboration with like Dr. Ibrahim Karim and probably Juan Slosser. He doesn't know this yet. I've got a call with him probably the next few days. And another crazy architect, which I'll share with you. There's a couple of amazing architects we're working with. An event conference center, so we can have amazing events and gather tribe, community, co-working with offices, multifunctional classrooms, napping rooms, so you can have a KIP, and a library. Advanced wellness facilities, gymnasium, float tanks, ice baths, therapy rooms, saunas and spas. Organic restaurant with fresh produce from the Syntropic farm. We've got a water and frequency lab, which has got lots of different technology things going on there. There'll be one above ground and one below ground, probably. We've got a beautiful partnership with Varn Electric Yachts. So this is a luxury catamaran brand. It's new. They're 100% recyclable boats. The dude's really awesome. If you know anyone that wants an amazing a boat, this guy's he's on point with what he's doing. So we've already got an agreement with him. Water and sound temple, of course, it's probably one of the most important things for us is having the temple there. Everything that we need to do with a project, with anything we're doing, people should be able to come visit, run their podcast. Sorry, hang up. Do their podcast, do their video production. We'll have a team, which I'll show you in a sec. Water sports facility, art studio, workshop, and then art will be showcased throughout the space. Syntropics farm and school and farm.
I'll pause you because go back because something else I want to add, and this is what I'd like to bring, is new social and economic systems. So you're experimenting with new ways of distributing value, meeting our needs, meeting purpose. So there's digital currencies here, sure, but it doesn't actually say what it does. What digital currencies
down further, we will put that. It'll be in the program section. But absolutely right here. So Syntropic, as I mentioned, the School for Syntropic Farming and Herbalism with Mark. This is the land down the road, 500 meters down, which we're acquiring. That little house at the back of the hill in the middle, that's a spring water facility. Hey, get down, you two.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's amazing. So this is the Frequency Village community currently. We still kept Lawrence down there. He's passed away, but he's with us in spirit, and his spirit is strong. We've got a really beautiful, mix of people, all sorts of different areas here. So yeah, you can imagine the program. Reiki is really, TED Talks, live music performances. I really want to put a big emphasis on the program. People. I want to create this sort of vibe where people come on holidays, and they come and they spend time. They have live music. Amazing talks like Joe Dispenza, that sort of vibe with really good bands playing with conscious music. And of course, our goal is to have community living in the actual village. and then bring money through ecotourism and things like that. A big part of what we're creating is this Living Impact Lab. It's really to bring consciousness to all areas of the creation process. So it's like kind of like a mix between an accelerator, an agency, and a venture studio, you know. So there's literally shouldn't be anything we can't do in this space. So good drones, cameras, you know, coders, et cetera, et cetera. So why Azores? Strategic location, tax-free, and the biodiversity is amazing here. That's a little extra slide for you. Not everyone gets to see this one. So there is a pyramid under the water here. That thing you can see in the top right-hand corner is an actual sonar image that we've got. And there's a project that's happening at the moment in June where the sea's got too big. So in June we're going back to the site and there'll be a documentary being made. So get down.
So cool.
Yeah, dude. So you can see where we are. We're like on the trajectory. So this land used to just keep running straight ahead, you know. And so you can imagine what was going on around where I am in the past. So, you know, I'm doing things a little bit differently, Reiki. You know, we've got a really strong established market here with ecotourism. You know, people come to the Azores for nature, you know, and I feel like with this first space, just having a really solid model to start with, as we're, you know, we are moving through a transitional stage. So I feel like, you know, we can bring in funds like this, like fiat through this way, and then, you know, moving into the seeds and things like that as a transition into that, you know, and then we can maybe even do a split and see how it pans out. You know, long term, I think we all know money system is collapsing and things like that. So, but just to be resilient, this makes a lot of sense for us. Obviously, our main market we're trying to attract here is change makers, conscious companies, you know, blockchain people, etc. So business model here is accommodation, the memberships, which is like the tokens, food and beverage, wellness, program, and then space rental. So the team, this is the core team here. Some pretty awesome talent. Roland down on the bottom right, he's based in Thailand, but he's built like over 20 or 30 large developments. He's a civil engineer and an architect and a property developer, and so is Gonzalo. So Gonzalo on the bottom left is our project manager, construction manager, and I think, you know, Laura. Yeah, maybe a few more faces here. Alan's been, you know, was very helpful. And this is kind of the model that we're running at the moment. It's a land company, a devco, and an operations company. Of course, we're moving everything into trusts and things like this, the land trust, because I think there's going to be a big land grab at some point. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy, I don't think is an empty statement, you know, so I'm sort of just seeing how we can position things for that. The project's around 25 mil, 24.98. As I said, we just raised 1.2 this week, and it's very likely that we're going to get support for a lot of other things. So that's kind of where we're at milestone-wise. Secured both the lands. We've had meetings with all areas of the government. Anna Reyes is the regional director, Paulo Mendes, head of technology, innovation, culture, the chief architect, head of tourism, just to get, you know, their feedback and what they feel about the project. They're all like super enthusiastic because basically, you know, in the government they just want to look good, and all the stuff we're kind of doing makes them look good. So we've kind of we're actually eligible for a $10 million grant, which we're almost certain of getting. And so like that's kind of for us. This is the backyard here. I'll talk about the grant in a sec. So that's kind of where I sit. It's pretty amazing, dude. So this is just like a normal day in summer, you know, and this is kind of my daily afternoon wander. I go inside the caldera and just wander around, and it's definitely like fucking epic, you know. It's just it's amazing. So that's kind of what we're up to, dude. And yeah, it's like, I guess like what I said is, you know, the main thing I wanted to accomplish was just to get this project grounded, you know, and how we move into tokenomics and how we move into these new systems. It's definitely been, you know, it's been held in a way that allows us to do that. Again, the good thing about this investor is he's a philanthropist, you know. So yes, he wants some capital return, but his main interest is to, you know, bring abundance to the planet. You know, he's really like a pure heart, and he's loaded, you know. So it's kind of like a bit of a dream situation, because I think raising funds is the hardest thing that a lot of these projects are having. But yeah, I mean, I'm with Seeds, Reiki. I told you from the start. For me, it's really about the people holding the vision, and I know that you've got the intelligence, to bring what is needed. And I know you're doing things again the right way, not the easy way. And what will happen is there will be this challenging midway, and what will happen is everything will start to collapse, and you'll just go like this, and that's what I know. That's what I know you guys are going to experience. So
we are going to experience, because we're doing this together. Okay. Unfortunately, I have to run in 3 minutes because I've got to take Cece to a appointment for her. We're finally finding a midwife mid-third term because we're going to try to do it ourselves. But anyway, so yes, I'm a full yes to doing this. I'd like to collaborate in whatever way we can help. I sent you that Gitbook. Please go over that because it's just basically everything's there.
Awesome. I will. Hey, Rocky, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you the presentation. Don't share it with anyone. Just keep it for yourself for now. Dude, if I seem like I don't get something or ignorant, it's just I don't understand. So if you see because I know where you're sitting, you understand your project. I know where I'm sitting with my project. So if you see anything that you think, fuck, it can be better, or we can evolve it, or it should be this or that, just say it to me, man. Because I'm all about what is the best way that we can operate. I mentioned a couple of things that I feel we need to achieve. I feel like there's certain things with the space, with consciousness, that I don't want to put out to a large community for decisions yet, maybe down the track. And I think that you mentioned something about you did something similar where you slowly got voted out. So I'm really interested in all these things. So yeah, anything you see, please just don't hold back. I'm all ears, and I'm totally open to ways we can collaborate.
Yeah, epic. Then maybe what we could do is if you could grab another time. One, I'd love you to present this in a way that you want to share it. Two, I'd love to have a deep dive on economics and governance strategies. Because absolutely, I don't think it makes sense to have everyone kind of have a vote and just direct democracy from the get-go. What makes a lot more sense is that they're voting in a council. And then that council, which is already like your founding team, is likely to get voted in for that. We're
already forming a council as well. We're already forming a council of elders. We've kind of already got one in the community, with elders there. But
the main thing is just making whatever power structures there are, and every system has power structures, just explicit. So that's what I would love to help you do, is just make it clear. Demonstrate some of this new paradigm tech. But then the other opportunity I see is, maybe you do like the core crowdfunding with direct investment, because that's great. You raise, I saw 2.5 million there is what you need for phase one. Maybe that is just direct investment, but there's a huge opportunity to crowdfund. And this is talked about more in the document, but it's the idea that, just real super brief, that each token represents a day's stay, but is also backed by the entire value of the project. So it's an asset backed token that if the whole thing fails, you're still going to get some value out of it. But the market value of that token is a day's stay. So what's really cool is all the token holders have this incentive to make the place more valuable to stay, because then their tokens are going to be worth more. But that has a constant burn. Everyone who's staying at it, they're burning a token. People who are staying at the project, they can earn a token, because the project also mints tokens for all the contributions coming into the projects. So whoever's there working on the farm, they earn a token a day. That's what they pay for rent, whatever. That's how it works. Or they can earn more tokens and sell it for a profit. So people can come to the project, add a ton of value. But it is also, this token kind of represents the whole flow of value in the system. And it would be a separate token called frequency. And it could just be vibes. Actually got the vibes token. That would be cool.
Awesome.
We operate in good vibes, but that's the general model. And then to crowdfund for it, so you can have the whole world kind of come in and be like, hey, I always have a day's stay that I'm holding in my account in the Azores. One day I'm going to go there and claim it, or whatever.
I love this model, right? And for us, it's like, I'm just listening, because like we're in a good seat right now. Like, as I said, I told you the first part of what's happening. I can't say what else is happening, but it's huge. So let's see how this 7 days, I've only got to wait 7 days. Let's see how this plays out. The universe will take care of whatever it needs to. But just know that, like, I'm 100% in, and I want to support you. For me, it's about alignment, and I totally align with you. when you're sharing, you know, my body resonates, and yeah, I just know you're doing the right thing, and again, yeah, good on you, man, and keep trucking.
Well, thank you. And I want to say likewise, because I mean, I'm actually really impressed by how you've held this space, and I feel like I'm just saying this now because you reflected it, but it's not even remotely that, because you've been at it, man, for however many years, and I've seen kind of Frequency Village grow and shrink and grow and shrink, but you just kind of stayed there, holding that frequency and finding the right container, and now seeing the faces that you've actually held, like I want to be a part of this. It's you've done an incredible job of like forming that core community, and yeah, I'm here to help. I want to launch it. We definitely need it.
Awesome.
I want my kids to be growing up in it, and 2023 is the year we
Oh,
got a
good.
network of villages across the globe we're flowing through. You know?
And look, I shared this first model. This first model is not like we're building schools, you know, that's really where we're heading. So this is the first model as a hub, and then we're going to go out to multi-generational communities. You know, that's the vision. So
I love it. Brother,
all
you're
right,
incredible. Please grab some a couple times. We have so much more to keep diving.
I will, and I'll jump on this link you sent me right now.
Cool.
All right, brother. Lots of love, man. Have a good day.
You too.